Let me say something most ACCA students don't realize until it's too late. You don't fail ACCA because you didn't study enough. You fail because you didn't know how to attempt the paper. That's the uncomfortable truth nobody tells you clearly. I've personally seen students walk into the exam hall knowing almost the entire syllabus and still walk out with a fail. And at the same time, I've seen students who were unsure about multiple topics still cross 50 comfortably. The difference was never intelligence. It was never effort, it was always execution. And today, this video is going to rewire how you think about ACCA exams completely. Because if you understand what I'm about to explain, you don't just study better, you start scoring like a top performer inside the exam hall. Welcome to Education Bench, the place where we don't just talk about studying ACCA. We break down how to actually pass ACCA using strategy, psychology, and real examiner behavior. If you're serious about clearing your ACCA exams in fewer attempts, you're in the right place. And today, we're not doing generic advice. No study harder, no practice more past papers. We're going into how ACCA actually works behind the scenes and how you can use that to your advantage in your very next exam attempt. Now here's where most students get it wrong. They think ACCA is about knowledge. They think if they cover the syllabus, revise multiple times, and memorize enough content, they will pass. That belief is the biggest trap. ACCA is not testing how much you know. It's testing how you think, how you apply, and most importantly, how you present under pressure. The exam is designed in a way where knowing everything is impossible. So if your entire strategy is based on I'll study everything and then try my best, you're already setting yourself up for a risky attempt. Let's shift your perspective. ACCA marking does not reward correct answers in the way school or college exams do. It rewards relevant points. That means you don't need perfect answers. You need relevant, scenario-based, structured points that match the examiner's marking scheme. Every question you see already has marks allocated to specific ideas. The examiner has a checklist in front of them. Your job is not to impress them with long answers. Your job is to hit as many checklist points as possible. Let me give you a quick case. Imagine a question in SBL or AAA asking about risks in a company scenario. An average student starts writing everything they know about business risks, generic definitions, textbook explanations, long paragraphs. A top student reads the scenario, identifies 6-7 specific risks directly linked to the company's situation, and writes short, sharp, applied points. The average student writes more but scores less. The top student writes less but scores more. That's the game. Now let's get into the exact system you should follow in the exam hall. This is not theory. This is a repeatable framework that works across applied skills and strategic professional exams. If you apply this correctly, your attempt quality will change immediately. The first step is decoding the requirement. Before you even think about writing, you stop and read the requirement carefully. Twice. Most students rush this part because they feel pressure to start writing quickly. That's a mistake. The requirement tells you exactly what the examiner wants, but only if you understand the command words. If the question says explain, you need to give clear reasoning. If it says evaluate, you need to give both sides and then a judgment. If it says recommend, you need to provide actionable solutions, not just analysis. Here's a real scenario. A student preparing for AFM gets a question asking to evaluate an investment decision. He writes calculations perfectly but forgets to provide a final judgment. He loses marks not because he didn't know the topic, but because he didn't answer the requirement fully. Another student makes minor calculation mistakes but gives strong evaluation and recommendation. He passes. That's how ACCA works. The second step is scenario mining. This is where marks are hidden, and this is where most students fail badly. The scenario is not just background information. It is the source of your marks. Every line in that scenario exists for a reason. If you ignore it and write generic answers, you're basically writing outside the marking scheme. Think like a consultant, not a student. When you read the scenario, you should actively look for problems, risks, inefficiencies, opportunities, financial issues, governance weaknesses. Highlight mentally or on screen the key triggers. For example, if the scenario mentions declining profit margins, that's not just information. That's a point you can use in performance analysis or strategic evaluation. If it mentions lack of internal controls, that's a direct risk point for audit-related answers. Let me give you another mini case. A PM student sees a variance analysis question. Instead of just calculating variances, the question requires interpretation. The student who simply calculates will score maybe 40–50% of the marks. The student who links each variance to the scenario, like explaining why material price variance occurred due to supplier issues mentioned in the case, will score significantly higher. Same knowledge, different application. The third step is structured answering. This is where you separate yourself instantly from average scripts. Markers go through hundreds of answers. If your answer is messy, unstructured, and difficult to follow, you lose marks even if your ideas are correct. Structure is not optional, it is a scoring tool. A strong answer follows a simple pattern: point, explanation, application. You state the idea, you briefly explain it, and then you link it to the scenario. That's how you maximize marks from a single thought. If you just write the point, you might get half a mark. If you explain it, you might get 1 mark. If you apply it to the scenario, you unlock the full mark. Let's take an example from SBL. You're asked to discuss internal control weaknesses. A weak answer says, there is lack of segregation of duties. A strong answer says, there is lack of segregation of duties, which increases the risk of fraud and errors, and in the scenario, the finance manager is handling both recording and approval, which creates a significant control risk. That one structured response can secure full marks. The fourth step is time management, and this is where even good students collapse. ACCA is not a knowledge exam. It is a time management exam disguised as a knowledge test. You are not competing against the syllabus, you are competing against the clock. The rule is simple: approximately 1.8 minutes per mark. If a question is worth 10 marks, you should not spend more than 18 minutes on it. Not 25, not 30. Top students don't aim to complete answers perfectly. They aim to capture as many marks as possible within the time. If you get stuck on a question, you move. You don't sit there trying to figure out the perfect answer while losing marks in other questions. Because an incomplete attempt across all questions will always beat a perfect attempt on only some questions. Here's a powerful case. A student attempts only 70% of the paper but does it very well. Another student attempts 100% but with moderate quality. The second student is far more likely to pass. Why? Because ACCA rewards coverage. Marks are spread across the paper. If you leave questions blank, you are literally leaving marks on the table. The fifth step is professional presentation. This is the easiest way to gain marks, yet most students ignore it. Your answers should be easy to read, easy to follow, and professionally structured. Use headings. Use bullet points where appropriate. Keep sentences concise. Avoid unnecessary storytelling. Write like a consultant, not like a student trying to impress. Markers are human. If your script is clean and structured, they can quickly identify your points and award marks efficiently. If your script is messy, they might miss your points even if they are correct. Presentation does not just improve readability, it directly impacts your score. Now let's simulate a real exam situation. You open your ACCA paper, and the first question looks unfamiliar. Your brain freezes for a second. This is where most students panic. Panic leads to poor decisions, rushed answers, and loss of structure. But top students handle this differently. They don't look for the exact answer. They look for familiar elements within the unfamiliar question. If this video shifted your perspective even slightly, then you're already ahead of most ACCA students. But don't just watch this and move on. Start applying it from today. Because the students who change their approach early are the ones who clear faster, with fewer attempts. And with less frustration. If you want more content like this, real strategies, real exam insights, no generic advice, make sure you subscribe to Education Bench. And if you're serious about passing your next ACCA exam, go back, rewatch this video, and start implementing this framework in your practice immediately. Because the difference between failing and passing ACCA is not intelligence. It's not luck, it's strategy. And now, you have it.